Hi guys, tonight we're going to go through a few steps here on how to do a compression test. Tonight we're working on a Ford Fiesta. For this, the tools we're going to need is a ratchet, socket, 14mm socket, an 8mm socket and a compression tester. For this, you're going to need to disconnect your ignition coils. You have to disconnect your loom here. You need to remove these two 8mm bolts on all three ignition coils. And this car has 3 ignition coils, some cars will have 4.
You usually mark them just to put them back in the same place. It's just something we always do.
So we'll need to remove the coils. Next, we will have to remove the spark plug in order to get a compression tester down into the cylinder. As you can see, we've already removed the plug on cylinder 1. A handy trick is when you've loosened off the socket, you can put your ignition coil back down and it should pick the plug up out of its place. If you loosen it off all the way, that is. There you go, he's loosening it off, and put the ignition coil back down into it and it'll pick up the plug. Have to do the same again on cylinder 3. Just make sure before you take out the plugs, just have a look down where the plug sits in. Sometimes there can be dust and dirt, debris, leaves, maybe bits of stone. If there is, you'd want to get an airline and just blow it out, otherwise the stuff will fall down into the cylinder. And believe me, you don't want that to happen. Next step is now that all the plugs have been removed, put your compression tester in the cylinder 1. So once it's in, maybe even just give your tester just a little pull, just to make sure it's definitely in place and it's not going to come off. Okay, we can just leave our compression tester down here, sitting like that. And our next step is, we're probably going to need someone here. We're going to have to get into the car. And when you're doing a compression test, you'd want to do 10 revolutions of the engine, and you need to have the accelerator pedal pushed fully down to the ground while you're turning the car over. So I'll just get Mick to do that now. Okay, on our first cylinder we have 10 bar. So if you can get yourself a pen and paper, you can just write down cylinder 1, 2, 3. I put 4 there, you don't need to. And just write down each reading after you test each cylinder. So we've got 10 bar on our first cylinder, so we're going to compare it now across the rest of the cylinders. Okay, we're in cylinder 2 now. Just get Mick to jump back in there. That's just another tip there as well. After you've done your compression test on the first cylinder, it builds up pressure in the gauge, and it has a little button on the side of the tester. This needs to be reset after each cylinder is tested. So we'll get Mick just to turn the engine over there again now and check the pressure on cylinder number 2. Okay, and it's shown 10 bar on cylinder 2, same as number 1. The button I was telling you about here, you can see the pressure still in the gauge in a minute, and we press this button here, you'll see the pressure drop out of it. Okay, now we're in cylinder number 3, and we'll get Mick to just check that again. We're about 11 bar on that one. So they're all pretty bang on. 1 bar across the whole 3 cylinders, which is a good sign. So we can write down 11 bar, just so it won't forget. That's pretty much it for doing the compression test. You'll just need to fit your plugs back into place now, fit your coils back into place, and just make sure everything's tight. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more videos.